Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode, I've got a little bit of a story for you. This one here, technically was gifted to me. I get a lot of bottles sent to me, as most of you well know, and I'll say at the start of the show whether I was received that bottle by the brand or not. Basically, I didn't pay for this whiskey. However, the brand didn't actually give it to me. It came to me through a friend, in fact. That said, I work with the brand quite a lot, especially of something upcoming. Wink, wink. So yeah, very interested in this. But this is something I've tried before, but I've never been able to afford to buy a bottle. And there are only 300 of these in existence, so I'm really glad to have this. But yeah, the story, in fact. This here is the Imperial Tribute by Spencer Collings, which you might know about if you've been watching my channel for any length of time. I've done a couple of Spencer Collings bottles on the channel. I've spoken to a guy called Mike Collings at length, and I've done a lot of Firkin releases. Now, this guy, Mike Collings, a bit of an unsung hero of whiskey. He was part of the Diageo marketing teams back in the 80s, who really helped pioneer whiskey as we know it. Him and his team created the Johnnie Walker Blue Label. They created the Johnnie Walker Green Label. They created the classic malts range. So, they and him were pivotal in making whiskey as we know it today a thing, which is really important. Now, he's done a couple of releases recently celebrating 50 years in the industry, supposedly retired over in Australia, but I know he still works like a dog in the kind of whiskey realm, doing his thing. He's got a lot of casks under his belt. Now, this here then is, and I'm taking my own words here, this is his ultimate bottling of a gifting whiskey, essentially. So it's taking all of his years of experience, a lot of the casks that he owns, blending something together and creating something that's a true, dare I say the P word, premium package to come through. Now, I only have the bottle here, but if anyone actually buys one of these, it comes in a really luxurious package. I'll drop a link in the description below. There's no affiliates or anything like that, just so you can go and check it out. It comes in a really lovely package, but the entire thing is personalised just for the person who it's being gifted to or the person who bought it. So this little area here, for instance, would have a sticker on it with your name on it, and the box would have your name on it inside, along with a certificate made out of vellum, and there's like some like Italian silk or something inside. It's all very extravagant, Now that's going to switch a lot of people off. I get that, but here I like to talk about the whiskey, so I'm going to. But the problem I've got is I don't really know what I'm drinking here. There's a couple of omissions from the front of this that are interesting. One is the word Scotch isn't on there, which is interesting because usually you would find here, single malt Scotch or blended malt Scotch or something like that. What I've got here is finest malt whiskey. So I'm going to make a couple of assumptions there. One is that there is at least one element to this that is not Scotch, which is odd, but why not? The fact is that it might well be. It might just be that the omission is there on purpose because it didn't fit with the aesthetic of the label. Don't know is the truth. The other word that's been omitted from here is blended. Again, I think that's probably by design because the B word tends to have a negative effect with a lot of the whiskey community, which is a real shame because there are many different layers of whiskey, right down from the cheapest stuff to the most expensive stuff. And the word blended shouldn't be compared with what, the supermarket stuff, the kind of like famous grouse blenders and things like that. They are blends as officially designated, but it's not the same thing as blending a bunch of 30-year-old stuff together. Now, in terms of things that are in here, now this is natural coloured. Just to take you, look at this thing. Natural coloured, non-chill filtered. I don't know about what constituents are in here. Mike may well have told me if I ever asked him, but I didn't think that was in the spirit of the review, to be honest. I think that it's going to be much more interesting to kind of pick it apart naturally. So what I'm going to surmise that to get a whiskey that colour, you could cheat for sure. You could get that nice and early on, but I reckon there's some really heavily aged stuff in this. This whiskey sells, by the way, for about 150, 160 quid. Not cheap, But like I said, there are only 300 bottles in this. And well, the other thing I will say about this whiskey is that every single person that's tried it has been pretty impressed with it, myself included. Now, again, look at the colour of that thing. It's like treacle, which, interestingly enough, might be a tasting note coming up. Let's get into the nose then and see what we got. Did I mention it was 46%? I don't think I did. It's 46%. Okay, on the nose then. Now this, I mean, it is very heavily sherried, which to me, you know, if you know me and you know my tasting profile, I don't tend to lean towards that. However, there's no sense of faintiness to it. There's no sense of sulphuriness to this, to my nose anyway. It's extremely woody. So this has been, I think a lot of it's been in wood for a very long time. Bags of those kind of dried fruits, but even saying that feels a little bit understated for what it really is. Like it's, I mean, I hate to use the word Christmas cake, but it really is. But it's like probably the most alcoholic Christmas cake I've ever smelt. Like those brandies, those sultanas, that butter, all mixed together. Yeah, I mean, if you're into your sherried whiskey, you're going to be right at home here. Let's try on the palate. Oh, the viscosity on this thing is incredible. I mean, I don't know if you can get a sense of the legs from that. Not really. Just about. My glass has got a bit frosted in the dishwasher, but there they go. Long, thick. Back to the nose for a little bit. I don't often do that. That was completely unintended. Mm. Okay, proper tasting notes then. Again, all those dry fruits, those Christmassies. It's like figs, it's sultanas. Less raisins, but more of those other ones that I just said. Bags of treacle, of caramel, of toffee. I mean, unbelievably wooden. You know, the tannins that are in this are incredible. In fact, I'm going to do this thing where I don't do this at all on video usually. I haven't done this yet. This little trick you can do, where you take a bit on your hands, burn the alcohol off, let it dry, and then you can get a real sense of the oak that it was in. Bit of a silly practice, but you should try it. It's fun. Yeah, fresh and clean. I mean, it's so hard to pin down. You know, this is, I mean, I'm basically blind tasting, apart from the fact that I know how much it was and what it is, but stunning whiskey. Talking of price, now 150 quid. I mean, personally, I think I've spent over that once in my entire whiskey career, you know. So I'm definitely not going to sit here and say everyone should just jump out and buy a bottle of this, because that's just not true. However, if you're one of the people that, you know, for one, has money lying around, not that that's many of us these days, but if you are into your complete package of whiskey, you know, with the box and the labels and the gifting and all that sort of stuff, you're going to be right at home here. But also, you know, I think probably the biggest, for want of a better word, the biggest issue with this is that they are not able to just list what's in it. Because I bet you if they could put, you know, I'm almost certain, I remember a conversation I had with Mike ages ago, and I'm pretty sure that there's some 20, maybe even 30-year-old stuff in this. And if someone from the company wants to comment below on this video, they're more than welcome to. But yeah, absolutely stunning whiskey. Go and check it out. I'm going to enjoy this dram, and if you see me in person, you might be lucky enough to get some. Cheers.